I'm Lisa Maxwell and I'm playing Celia in Calendar Girls, the musical. The show is, obviously it's a fantastic story of the women from Naples in Yorkshire that were members of the WI that decided to fundraise for one of the ladies' husbands who was diagnosed with cancer to try and raise a sofa for the local hospital. And so they all got together. One of them had this idea that they should all get their clothes off and do a nude calendar, which, you know, is now historical. Everyone knows they raised a lot of money. I think it's something like 5 million quid to date, and have done amazing things. So that's the plot. But obviously you add to that Gary Barlow's amazing music, and you've got Tim Firth's amazing script, which it's an honour really to be working with these guys. So you've got Tim who wrote the movie, and you've got Gary Barlow who wrote everything. So that's kind of the essence of what we're doing. When I went to see the show, it's one of the most moving, uplifting shows I think I've ever seen. When they actually finally raised the money to get the sofa, I cried when they brought the sofa. I've never cried at a sofa in my life. They literally wheeled the sofa and I went, it really does have such an impact on you. I think possibly because I'm a woman of a certain age as well, and I've lost friends to cancer, and the idea of celebrating a woman's body for being a healthy thing. You know, I'm getting to the part where I tell you that we take all our clothes off as well, which you've probably worked out because everyone knows the story of the ladies. But yeah, so that is quite terrifying. But the fact that all my bits work and I've still got them all, I think is something that perhaps I should get my head around celebrating. The character Celia is, she was formerly an air hostess, so I imagine she was probably quite glamorous, because in those days air hostesses were, it was a very glamorous job to have. And then she meets the man of her dreams. She falls madly in love, and he takes her back to Yorkshire, and I feel a little bit like maybe her wings have literally been clipped and she needs a bit more glamour in her life. I think she has broader horizons than the village. And so I think that's the essence of Celia for me. That's what I'm going to try and find, is that this woman who has a tremendous sense of fun and adventure. I'm trying to bring as much depth as I can. It's a musical at the end of the day, and typically musicals don't have as much depth as plays a lot of the time, but I think this really does. I'm actually really looking forward to going around the country. I mean, you know, I'm at a point in my life now, with like some of the other ladies in the show, where I just want to have a really good time, and to do a show like this and celebrate being a woman. We're all getting naked together, we're all of a certain age, we're all going around the country, and I'm really looking forward to having fun, wherever that may be, whether it be, you know, Southend or, you know, Chichester or wherever. I really enjoy taking on a real person's story because it gives you somewhere to start, because you've got lots of reference points. And with the Calendar Girls, same thing. I tend to get a bit carried away. I tend to, you know, this is theatre and it's entertainment. So, I mean, and I think there's an artistic license here as well, because I think some of the characters have been slightly changed or, you know, created in order to tell a different kind of story or add another dimension to this story. So I tend to start with the truth, and then I chuck bits out that I think that won't be necessary for people to see. But yeah, I love playing real people because there's always that reference. I want everyone that comes to see Calendar Girls to leave as happy as I did when I first saw it. I mean, it's just the most uplifting. It's funny. It celebrates women. It celebrates marriage. It celebrates community. All of the things that we forget about because we're moving so fast sometimes that we don't even look at the seasons changing. You know, the way they celebrate the fact that the seasons come and go and yet the days hardly change at all. There's some real comfort in the days not changing very much and the seasons come and go, and it's that beautiful familiarity that we sometimes don't get nowadays because we're so transient and going somewhere. Instead of thinking about where we are, we're thinking about where we're going. What I love about Calendar Girls is they celebrate where they are, and nobody really wants to change it that much. I mean, I left the theatre just full of joy, and I just skipped out of the theatre, and I hope that's what people do when they come and see it. If someone's asking me for advice about going into this industry, to be an actor, to be a singer, to be a dancer, then I would say train. Make sure it's absolutely what you have to do. If there's something else you can do it. If you can't imagine doing anything else, then give it a go.